What's going on, drinking buddies? Brand new episode coming at you in just a second. But real quick, you know what time it is. Time for a quick word from our sponsors. Those fine folks who keep liquor in my belly, the show coming at you. You know, those lovely people. First and foremost, this week's episode is brought to you by our friends at Gamefly.com. Gamefly has over 8,000 new releases and classics available to rent for Xbox One, 360, PS4, PS3, PS Vita, Wii U, Wii, and 3DS, as well as the old school systems. As a Gamefly member, you can rent as many console and handheld games as you want and get them delivered right to your mailbox for one low monthly fee. If you like the game so much that you don't want to send it back, you can keep it for a low used price. There are never any due dates or late fees. Gamefly also offers the ability to rent Blu-ray and DVD movies as a regular part of the service at no extra charge. Why would you throw down $60 to $70 to $100 on a game that you've never played before? Get it on Gamefly, check it out first. If it's rad, buy it. Hell, buy it from Gamefly at the discounted rate. So sign up today for a premium 30-day trial for free. One game out, shipped directly to you with a pre-addressed envelope for easy returns. No contracts, cancel anytime. Check it out at www.gameflyoffer.com/ANWD. Once again, that is www.gameflyoffer.com/ANWD. We are also brought to you this week by our friends at Vinyl Me Please. Vinyl Me Please is the Record of the Month Club, the best damn Record of the Month Club. In fact, every month, Vinyl Me Please features one album that is essential to the modern vinyl collection and sends it to thousands of members worldwide. Each record is pressed exclusively for Vinyl Me Please, and it comes with features you can't get anywhere else. Things like bonus tracks, inserts, color variants, and comes packaged with a 12x12 album-inspired art print. And also a custom cocktail pairing. Can't beat that. Rad vinyl, coming to you every month. Custom cocktail pairing, and versions you can't get anywhere else. And Vinyl Me Please isn't like Record of the Month clubs of old. It's month to month, no strings attached. You can't beat it. If you're into rad vinyl and you're into rad music, sign up for Vinyl Me Please today. No strings attached, cancel anytime. Check it out at www.joinvmp.com/ANWD. Once again, that is www.joinvmp.com/ANWD. And last but not least, we are brought to you by the OG sponsor, our friends at Laughable. Laughable is the #1 comedy podcast app on iOS. You can't beat it. Not only can you subscribe to your favorite podcast, you can subscribe to your favorite comedians, performers, podcasters, and when they make appearances on other people's shows, it shows right up in your subscription feed. Laughable 3.0 is out now. Bunch of red new features. Episodes no longer disappear from your subscription feed when a new episode comes out. They just scroll indefinitely now. So if you're on iOS and you are not listening to this on Laughable, stop the podcast, go to the App Store, download it now, free of charge, because it is the best goddamn podcast app. It's what I use. I love it. I love what Ned and company have made, and it's only going to get better. And if there's a podcast you listen to that isn't on Laughable, email them, and they'll generally get it added in a day or so. Also, guys, I know I've been talking about it for a while, but the video version of the show is going to be up real soon. I opened a Vimeo on-demand store because I can't monetize through YouTube, and there are a lot of additional costs into doing the video episodes. You'd be helping me out a ton if you drop a little coin on them. I'm only going to be charging 99 cents an episode, or $6 a month if you want to stream everything. When it's officially open, I will let you guys know. Now that we got all the fucking business out of the way, this week's guest, you may know him from Comedy Central's Roast Battle, is comedian Joshua Meyrowitz, a.k.a. Autistic Thunder. He's a funny motherfucker. Holy shit. I was rolling throughout this episode. Joshua and I talk about comics, Star Wars, comedy, the history of the Autistic Thunder bit. Of course, we get into some sex stuff. It was a super fun episode. I really hope you guys enjoy this one. So sit back, relax, pop a cold one, drinking buddies.
When aliens come to take over, and look at us like we're out of our minds now. We'll get a galactic makeover, and now we're thinking that they just might be right. I cannot wait for this whole world to end. I'm gonna break out the bottle with my friends. I think they'll tell the best stories when we're gone. And now we drink.
Awesome.
We're rocking and rolling. What's going on, Josh?
Yeah, I am good. I'm excited. Thank you for having me on this podcast.
Hey, happy to have you here. What is up with you? What is new?
I am ever an anxious human being. Like, I don't know where to begin. I recently had to move again. I'm originally from New Jersey, and then when I was 14, I moved with my family to Calabasas, California, like a little bit past the valley. And then thanks to stand-up comedy, I was able to move away from my parents for the first time in my life 3 years ago. So I'm high functioning autistic, and change is not the easiest thing for me. So even though I don't like have much to like travel to move, like at the same time, it racked me. So, and this was a month ago, and I'm still all jittery about it.
You digging living on your own though?
I don't live with my own. I live with 3 other comedians. It is our way to. A lot of people are like. I think I don't like living alone, no matter what. Like, as long as I have my own room, I'm fine. But I like living with other people. I think the 31 years of living with my parents had a good effect in terms of. Well, I'm also, regardless who I'm around, I get lonely easily. Like I judge the things I do, and I think I'm pushing people away somehow. So I fight loneliness by actively being extroverted, among other things.
That makes perfect sense to me.
I shot out a cannon, I feel like, from the intro. I thought you're just what's new? I'm like, nothing much, friend.
No, you're good. You're good. You're part of the roast battle.
Uh-huh. I the chant master. I jump around with my shirt off. Chant. I can't hear my voice.
I turned it down a little bit because you were coming in a little hot.
Sounds about right. Mic or no mic. I am shot of the cannon. Hot on air. Not hot legitimately because I am a dork. Nothing wrong
What are you
with
talking
that.
about? Being nerdy sexy these days.
Hey, yeah. Listen, trust me. I think it was Bill Burr once like said to me, passing conversation. He doesn't normally talk to me, but like something I said, it's okay to be a nerd now. He's like, no, it isn't. I'm like, yes, it is. I think it was him. I don't remember exactly if it was, but it was some like older statesman of the comedy world that was like, do people not realize the times change? And in the first place, nerds aren't necessarily bad. There's always good and bad to any kind of group. I'd like to think I'm of the good kind of nerd. I don't hurt anyone. I don't blame anyone for my follies. I try to be a good human being, and I love anime and comic books and pro wrestling.
So if you had to choose between anime, comic books, or pro wrestling, what's number one?
Pro wrestling. Yeah, like I like it. It's been something I've been since the beginning of my life, basically following. Like behind that, God, anime and comic books are hard to choose because they're also kind of one and the same. I mean, that depends what we're talking about. I should say Japanese comic books, manga, are the same as American comic books. Different kind of writing and art style, but
And the pages go the opposite direction.
oh yeah, but that's another country, dude.
Is it? Oh shit!
Man, I'm terrible with sarcasm.
Oh, this may not go well then.
Oh no, you're fine. It's not you. It's me. You wouldn't believe how many times I attempt to be sarcastic and never get it right. That's very autistic of me.
So you were saying about comics and
Yeah, like on one hand, ooh, I love me some JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, or as it's called, JoJo no Kimi no Boken. I love doing that. It's so stupid. But like Infinity War and all the other Marvel Cinematic Universe movies and just nerdges and then all over the place. Like everybody's all like, the next Avengers movie is at least 3 hours. And I'm like, yes, isn't that great? How could you be upset? The last one was basically 3 hours and it was awesome. I'm easy to please though.
That was one of the most somber moments leaving a movie theater ever, was after that movie.
It was the ending that needed to happen for that movie.
Oh, I agree. Anyone who's been into comics for any length of time knew that was the ending that was going to happen.
Oh yeah.
But the execution still was like a punch in the gut.
Oh yeah, it's one of the greatest cinematic punches in the gut. I will say though, the Empire Strikes Back of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is Civil War. I feel like that, like where the villain wins and there's a glimmer of hope, but you don't know. Hey, at this point they're one and the same because Disney, Marvel, and all the spilkus.
Oh no, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is much better than Star Wars these days.
I will say though, I loved the new the two so far out of the new trilogy. I'm with everyone else about the prequel trilogy. Good ideas, but mainly shit. But like I love episode 7 and 8. They were awesome.
I'm not a fan.
I gotcha. I only get on people about Last Jedi if it's some chuddy like, but Luke Skywalker wouldn't do that, or why are these women getting it? Oh, it's diversity, social justice warriors. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
No, my complaint is the lack of overall vision, because you have 7 that's essentially a rehash of The New Hope again,
right?
And then you have 8 that undoes almost everything done in 7.
That's very also kind of Marvel movies a little bit, but here's what my perception of episode 7 needed to be that movie, because it was a reintroduction into what Star Wars actually is like. Because
just a rehash of New Hope.
Yeah, but to also establish the new characters, and it successfully did to me. And then Last Jedi was taking a chance on something. I feel like a lot of people think that, because this character got over this one flaw in a past movie, that somehow it never truly lurks in the back of our minds. They're like it made sense to me that despite all those years and how much progress he made since Return of the Jedi, seeing him chop off his own father's hand and that he was becoming, like, that fear was always going to exist inside of Luke Skywalker. So it's this, and so he may or may not have ever made that mistake, but it happened. I also like I like the whole, there doesn't have to be like, Rey is related to someone, that's why she's so adept with the Jedi powers. It's like Anakin Skywalker. He didn't come from anywhere else. He was a Jesus-esque, like, he was born with great power. That's it. In a sci-fi fantasy world like that, it doesn't not make sense. It's like, yeah, you're also talking once again to a guy who loves anime and manga, and there's a lot of they got great power because they were something, their parents used to be this and that. But sometimes it's, they got this power because they just did, and it was thankfully was the right person that developed this power. A good example of that is there's a contemporary manga these days called Black Clover. It's very like stereotypical manga, shonen manga, where it's like, I'm an excitable, annoying, but pure-hearted main character, and somehow he gets like one of the strongest powers in the world, and they explain at one point it didn't. He just managed to be the one this power come to. But I think the idea is the power works out because of the person who wields it, as opposed to I'm easy to please. I don't mind Deus Ex Machinas and the like for the most part. I admit I'm the fool.
Hey, as long as you're having a good time, that's fine. I get fucking critical of that shit because I feel it's lazy fucking writing, and
understandably so.
There are definitely huge flaws in Last Jedi. But between Force Awakens and Last Jedi, I much rather that they take risks.
Right.
And that they try to tell an original story than rehash the story that's been told twice before.
Right. Well, once again, I felt episode 7 needed to be that way because it's like, this is what Star Wars is, not those prequels. Not 4 through 6, but like the chronologically, the last 3 movies that happened before that is like, okay, we realize the last 3 movies weren't great. Here's what Star Wars actually is. But your point is very valid nonetheless.
But the problem was, it's like, we're going to rehash the same thing, and then we're going to just make it bigger and better. Oh, the Starkiller base can take out whole solar systems now. It just felt lazy.
Sure. I can see that. But yeah, I watch copious amounts of anime and manga. That seems to be a common thread with autistic people. We love anime and manga. It's something about the look and how it's put together. It's a common thread. It feels like, from what I've experienced online or in person with other high functioning autistic people, it's always that. It's interesting.
Do you know why? Is there any?
I don't know. It's I can't explain it either, other than autism. How autismal of us. I love movies so I have this bit I do called Autistic Thunder. It's based on the fact, like, a lot of people say, oh, you must be super smart, like a superhero, because I'm autistic. When I have to tell them the truth of it is, personally, I am the dumbest autistic person you'll ever meet. Like, I'm not Rain Man. I'm not even partly cloudy with a chance of Rain Man.
You're not the guy from Cube?
Yeah, exactly. In the end, though, what if I was an autistic superhero? I'd be Autistic Thunder. Granted, at the end, I also say, what if I was an autistic supervillain? I'd be the Aspergian Nightmare. So that became a thing with other comedians where they were like, it's like become sort of like some kind of nickname, or they're like, oh, that they were convinced me that has to be your Twitter handle, your Instagram handle. I'm like, all right, you're right. It's funny.
It's funny. It stands out. That's how you were first introduced to me, was as Autistic Thunder.
Yeah. I my only fear is gimmick. As long as people know I'm not a gimmick, and I have to talk about autism on stage because it's a major facet of my everyday life. So of course I'm going to mine a lot of material out of it. But in the end, I'm a comedian who happens to be autistic, as opposed to an autistic comedian. So right now, Brian Redband of Def Squad has been on my back about making sure I start. So because I fuck around with my jokes, I started like my own review system of Autistic Thunderbolts. So Redband's like, you gotta put your movie reviews online on YouTube. You got it.
Why aren't you?
Because one, laziness. That's on me. But also two, it's this is very Jewish of me, because it's like I have two disabilities: autism and Judaism.
I got one of those.
Yeah. Welcome to hell. Anyways, so but like I'm a self-loather. I'm never happy. I mean, and it's also, my mom says, you're an artist. Of course, you never like what you do. It's because you strive for better. You're an artist. You're doing an artist job.
Hey, if you're satisfied with what you're doing,
oh, absolutely,
you just get content, and then you get mediocre.
I'm never happy, but I'm at least happy I'm where I'm at. So I'm working on pushing forward YouTube reviews. Mark Ellis has said this is something should have been doing for some time as well. For instance, Last Jedi, I give it 4 out of 5 Autistic Thunderbolts. The way the review system works is a number out of 5. 1 and 2 automatically denote bad movie. 3, 4, and 5 automatically denote good movie. No in between numbers, so no halves, no quarters, no 3/4. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also, it's entirely my bias. Like, I don't do these reviews because I think, oh, I'm making a good recommendation. I'm doing it because, oh, it's funny, people enjoy them, and maybe there's an inherent recommendation. Maybe they agree with my kind of mindset, but outside of that, I don't expect to be like, no, I don't want to watch every movie. And if I'm going to give a 5 out of 5 Autistic Thunderbolts to something, it's usually going to be a comic book movie. Like Infinity War? Crow? No, actually 4 out of 5. I don't know. I want to give it 5 out of 5. That's another thing. It constantly fluctuates because I don't care that much. So I love doing the reviews, but at the same time, I'm like, it for what it's worth, I do it because it's entertaining. It really doesn't matter.
Well, of course, it doesn't matter in the long run.
Right.
And your opinions on movies change. There's some movies I watched.
Oh yeah.
In the 90s, 2000s that were like, these are masterpieces, and I watched them now like, well, that's hacky.
Crow is still awesome, though.
Oh, The Crow is still awesome.
I mean, see, that's why I fluctuate between 4 and 5, because even though I ultimately give it, no, I fluctuate between 3 or 4 out of 5. The first sequel, The City of Angels. The first 2/3 of the movie, I like. I think everything after, what's the singer's name? The older dude.
I never saw City of Angels.
Just like the first one, it's got a great soundtrack. Fucking good atmosphere and some visuals. But yeah, they got kind of the wrong main actor who can't. He's like, I don't know if he's British or French, but Vincent Perez. Some of the words he comes out, it's not even bad acting. It's just you can't articulate well enough. Not that I'm judging. He did a decent enough job, so I'm not upset with it. But like, and there was ideas I liked even that in the last third of it. But other than that, it's the only, in a sense, worthy sequel. But it's still a bad movie. But I'm tempted just to say 3 out of 5. So technically, with me, good.
But the lower end of good.
Yes, the lower end of good. Barely 3 out of 5. Excuse me. Sorry.
It's like bad bacon. It's still good.
Yeah, I mean, I get the flavor of bacon. I'm not ultimately upset. It's not too burnt, so I don't taste burnt. Excuse me. Arby's.
They got the meats.
They got the meats, and I'm made out of meat. Jewish kosher meat. That doesn't make sense. I'm not religious.
One, you were just talking about eating bacon, so
yeah. Oh, dude, I would say real Jews eat all the pork and shellfish.
Oh yeah.
Trust me. I'm a fat Jew from the East Coast. I will recommend all the Chinese food to you. Like my standard for knowing if a Chinese food restaurant is good is how good their barbecue pork fried rice is.
What is your Christmas standard then in LA?
Oh, the same as any Jew.
Yeah, but what Chinese place?
There's a great place if you were somehow in the Valley or even Hollywood, which so it's only like 20, 30 minutes out of the way. There's a great place in Canoga Park, which is slightly deep in the Valley, called Szechuan Garden. Excellent place. They got great Mongolian beef. They got great sweet and pungent shrimp. By the way, a lot of people, they hear the word pungent in a food item. Let me recommend it. The pungent you're thinking of is the good kind of pungent. It's not like a stink or anything like that. It's just it's meant to accentuate sweetness as opposed to. Either way, it's delicious.
I will have to check it out because that is one thing that boggles my mind. At least being in Hollywood, is we have great Thai, we have great Japanese. I feel like LA's Chinese is way below par compared to the rest of the country.
I slightly disagree. Here's the thing. On the East Coast, we have great. I think I want to say our chow mein or lo mein is a bit better, and our barbecue spare ribs are better. But we got better pork dishes and shrimp dishes over here on the West Coast. And oh yeah, on the East Coast they have better wonton soup, way better wonton soup. But the East Coast still has good dishes. They do Mongolian beef a little bit better. You'll get better General Chow's on the East Coast, but you'll get better orange chicken maybe on the West Coast, depending on the place. I mean, if anything, if you're going to get orange chicken somewhere, you go to the fast food version, and that's Panda Express.
Sugar chicken.
Yeah, fill me up with that tub lordiness. I'm Mercy. I'm Mercy and I jiggle.
Totally sidetracked there.
Sorry, I love that.
Good.
I like calling that the cute voice. I grew up on the movie Gremlins, so I'm all like when you put on the light earlier with the lighting for the video, I was like.
Have you ever tried the Mogwai voice with a woman?
Only in conversation. What, you think during sex?
Why not?
Let me put my penis inside you. That comes off more Meatwad, though, from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Yeah, as soon as that show came off, I was doing both Mogwais and Meatwad, like, bro, listen, when we go in there, we're going to have to fight our way. And they're like, oh boy, we're going to Jeff's house. Now, for our locks, I love making just cute voices. I don't do a good stitch. A lot of kids ask if I somehow I'm talking to a kid, like when I used to live in Calabasas with my parents, there was it was a gay community and there was a pool for that community. So I'd be hanging around there and I ended up talking to little kids while I'm like in the jacuzzi, and then I'd do the voice and they laugh and like, can you do Stitch? And I'm like, I can't really do it. I can do Gremlins. Gizmo, caca. Oh, but going back to Star Wars, I can do that little creature that's with Jabba the Hutt. It's not as good. I can't. I always wanted to do Jawas, but that's hard. Listen, I just like cute voices. It makes me feel tubby and mushy, and I jiggle all over the place.
It's fucking good.
Thank you. I enjoy. Trust me. I'm definitely autistic because I talk to myself alone, or sometimes even when I'm walking, I get stuck in thoughts. I stuck in my own world. So sometimes I'm doing my parents' voices to myself for comedic reasons as well, or sometimes I'm doing the cute voices like, "Kills my hit me with the. He told me I'm too mushy and I deserve to die." But then if I'm not doing that, I'm doing, "Your mother, she gave me a eye on the side. Wait, she rolled her eyes at me. I'll kill her." I made him a mistake, and this is how he reacts. I definitely grew up on Howard Stern. So.
That's fucking good shit.
Oh yeah, but when I do my dad's voice, it's not apt. It's his character. It's in character for him, but it's definitely an exaggeration. Not just based on Howard Stern's dad's voice, but like forgetting the name, Jackie. But like he inhibits without having that voice that he's from Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn. Don't Joshua, when we cross the street, don't say sorry or look at the drivers. If they know you're weak, they'll hit you. But my mom's impression is absolutely apt. Your father and I went to a restaurant the other night. It was Italian. It was very delicious. A little pricey, but it was worth it. Joshua, I brought you a sandwich. I know you've already had lunch, but it's here just in case. Well, you know I'm going to eat that right now, Mom. I am a very fat person, and it's only partly my mother's fault.
I feel like every Jewish mother just wants to keep shoving food down our throats.
It's good I moved away because I was eating in the middle of the night like crazy.
Was your mom waking you up to feed you?
No. Listen. I from like 18 years on, they really taught me to be independent. I paid room and board while living with them. Like I was more than willing to do that because I want to do something as some kind of an independent human being. That's why I even am happy I got into stand up because it gave me the initiative to finally move out. It gave me the other comedians believe in me, and even when I say I'm not good, they'll tell me in pure honesty that I am good, and it's like I have a second immediate family. I'm very grateful for that. It opened my world. I'm was it a butterfly?
You came out of your cocoon.
Thank you. Yes,
you're welcome. No, you're a funny motherfucker. Come on.
Oh, you're too kind. I appreciate it. Thank you. So I fight against it. I'm trying to say I'm good. It's a slow process.
Hey, I feel at the moment you feel that, I'm good, that's when things start to backslide. You always got to be questioning your process, second guessing yourself. It's part of the deal.
Well, I also just want to keep things modest. I don't put my values on other people. I don't like for myself being arrogant or narcissistic. I know being a comedian is inherently narcissistic. Oh, you think you're good enough to be on stage. That kind of, to me, it's like, oh, I'm just happy to get the stage time and perform for people as opposed to a selfish means.
I feel it's a balancing act.
Sure.
I'm good enough to be here, but at the same time, there's still room for improvement.
Oh, there's always, even the big comics I've gotten to be around, thankfully, they're constantly like, this is not good enough. This is not, like, dude, you just crushed really hard. He's like, it's not good enough. Like, the solidarity is immense, and I didn't have that for many, many years. I'm a very extroverted person for someone who's usually introverted. Granted, I have introverted qualities. I tried so many social groups like Jewish youth groups or anime clubs, and I just did not fit in like they did. Like, I had some good experiences, especially with the anime club so I never went to college because I'm lucky I could graduate high school, but I struggled with that too. So UCLA, I don't know if they still do, but they have a free to the public anime club. So I went to that for like about 5 years, and I had some good experiences with that. Once again, I'm very thankful for my mother, since I still don't drive. I can't. I'm so anxious that I literally get to use a special needs taxi service to help me get around. for the most part around Los Angeles and the Valley. But thankfully living in LA as for the comedy community, everything is get toable by bus or carpooling with other comedians. I know I'm getting off track a lot. What was I talking about? Oh, so the anime club ultimately still wasn't for me. I was still in my room doing nothing because I couldn't find a place to exist outside my immediate family. And then I get into stand up after wanting to try it for a long time, and everything changed for the better. Like my doctor thought once my parents will eventually pass away that I'd have to live in a home. I found the initiative. My doctor even says my voice sounds different on stage. Hell, when I go on stage, it's the one place in my life where I'm not anxious. I'm still a mess, just a different kind of one.
Hey, we're all messes to one degree or another.
Yes, solidarity.
For fuck's sake. Even the people that supposedly have their shit together don't have their shit together. They're just good at hiding it.
Yeah, I am all about accountability and honesty. So I'm getting ready to soon to the Comedy Store is giving me my own live call-in podcast called Joshua Meyrowitz Can't Lie. It's based off this thing I used to do, literally called Joshua Meyrowitz Can't Lie. It's because as an autistic person, I lack filter and tact. And as an adult, once again, I don't put my values on others, but for myself, I absolutely hate lying. So for all intents and purposes, I can't lie. The only lies I can basically tell, and even this is rare, are very common, sensible white lies, stuff that could truly never hurt anyone. I'm so autistic, I keep it 200. 200.
So if a woman asks you, like, do these jeans make my ass look fat? You can't lie to her about it?
Well, that's my tactlessness. But like that, I can never like, and this is why I've never had a girlfriend, because of course I have never had a girlfriend. I mean, technically.
What do you mean, of course?
This is me self-loathing. Also, technically, I kind of had one, but it turned out it was just two lonely nerds. We were just desperate to be with another person, opposed to.
Tell us about it. What happened there?
So at that UCLA anime club, I met a girl, and she was annoying to me, but she was also really cute and likable. So I asked her out, and she said yes. And we were together for about a year. And then she realized that she didn't like me. She said I was unkempt. And I'm like, I don't mind. I took her word for it because I'm only so self-aware in a sense. And especially back then. And while technically that I had a girlfriend, I don't necessarily want to count it simply because it wasn't a relationship between people who really, really knew they wanted to be with each other.
I hate to break it to you, man. Half the time, most of us don't really know if we want to be with each other when we are. Count it. It counts.
I appreciate it.
You're a year in. Dude, I've never had a relationship that's lasted a year.
But I don't see, and for you, but I'm a romantic. I love sex. Who does? As long as everything consensual, sex is amazing. I just don't like the idea of getting into something with someone and your heart is barely in there in the first place. What's the point? Like casual sex is nice, but like I'm not someone who's looking to get married or have kids. I just finally want to have someone who I know for sure likes me and I like them back. Like I may have had a girlfriend once, but I never had a relationship, if that makes sense.
From what you're describing, it doesn't make sense to me because, I mean, you lived it. You obviously know it better than I do.
Right.
But you're with this woman for a year.
Right.
You had common interests. Obviously, you met in an anime club.
Yeah.
It sounds like a relationship. It might not have been the best relationship. It might not have been. Obviously, you're not with her anymore. It wasn't the end all be all of your relationships. But it still sounds like it still sounds like a relationship. I don't think you should downplay
it. In a sense, I don't take it for granted. It's just I don't want to claim something untrue. If that's where my mind's at, I'm scared of. This goes back to the whole thing. I'm scared. I'm even scared of lying. I don't like the effects it have. If I feel like I'm dishonest about something. In my mind, as honest as I at least think I am being right now, don't know if it's right for me to count it as boyfriend and girlfriend because but I will accept it if it is. It's not that I don't want to. I just want to make sure I'm properly articulating the things I've been through, if anything.
And I respect that. It sounds to me that you were spending constant time with this person for a year. You two were, I'm assuming, monogamous?
Right.
Sounds like...
well, monogamous. We yes, but we never had sex. I found out towards the end that the closest we got to sex was like dry humping each other, and like it was great. It was on a Halloween night. I love Halloween. It makes me even more want to have sex on Halloween. Oh, by the way, thanks to comedy and moving out, I lost my virginity. I'm a big boy now. Anyways,
so why do you think sex didn't happen with her?
Because she was a very religious prude. Like to the point, she came from a family where her parents like slept in the same room but different beds. Like that. Like that's how Christian. Nothing wrong with religion as long as you don't hurt or take advantage of other one, and not that this counts within that.
Well, no. At the point where you're repressing yourself that much. Yeah, you're hurting other people.
Sure, I think I can agree with that. Possibly, I all I know is it made sense. I also was. This was. I feel a lot of what ended up breaking the relationship was my fault. I was rushing things because I did. This was my first like interaction to this level with a woman. Before and even after that, I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I've only in these recent years gotten a little bit more social cue, but I'm still out there blindfolded like Bird Box style, and I haven't even watched that movie. That's how I know. Nothing against not against watching that movie. I am overwhelmed. I have Netflix, I have Hulu, I have HBO Go, I have.
That's all of us.
It's overwhelming. Anyways, I am glad I got to have that experience, and I wouldn't in the end say like, yeah, we were boyfriend and girlfriend. I just want to make sure I'm demonstrating the right things instead of claiming something that something was not. I lost my virginity to a prostitute at a massage parlor when I was 28. For a long time, I didn't want to lose my virginity to a prostitute. Nothing wrong with, in fact, legalized sex workers, so they may have insurance and not have pimps and like. Sex is a more important thing than people like. It helps people.
Oh yeah, we are meant to have sex.
Oh yeah,
it releases good hormones into the body. It helps with your immune system.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
That's all. Yeah, no one should ever slut shame anyone. Let your freak flag fly.
100%.
Yes. But for a long time, I want to, as I like to say, earn the vagina. I wanted to find someone who liked me enough that I had sex for the first time with someone who actually wanted to be there. Not that the prostitute doesn't want to be there, but she's paid to be there. She's doing a service.
Well, it's like any other job. There's some days when you show up to work and you're like, I'm psyched to be here. There's other days where you show up to work and you're like, can this fucking day be over already?
Yeah.
It's work.
Right, exactly. It's not a real relationship with a woman. And I'm in the end, I'm glad I lost my virginity because I was getting sexually frustrated, and that's not a good place to be. But it helped because like now I'm not a sexually frustrated person. I'm 34. Like, and once I moved out, it's funny. Everyone was always like, "Oh, Joshua, once you move out, you're gonna get so much pussy." And I'm like, "No, I'm not. It's me, guys." Guess what? I've had sex with 3 different women. About 5 times total hookups, and they were all awesome, and I'm glad I got to experience that.
Lead us through it. What happened? How'd this come about?
First time blew me away because so at roast battle you meet a lot of people. There was this lady. At first I thought, oh, she was a fellow comedian. Not that I had met her beforehand. But like she was talking to me about, hey, you want to get together and write? I'm like, yeah, sure. Older woman, middle-aged. I love MILFs. Don't get me wrong. That's my frequency in my porn search. Like, trust me, we'll get into that too. Don't worry. Well, I said to you, you can, just like the podcast I'm looking to do, Joshua Marks Can't Lie, people can call in and ask me about anything, my views about myself. I will not lie. If I have a secret, I'll say that's a secret. You can insinuate anything you want from there. I will not hide from you ultimately.
Awesome. And so this MILF comes up to you at roast battle.
Yeah. And she's like, let's get together for, I'm like, yeah, sure. So we get together and we get like Japanese ramen. It's not a date though. I thought she legitimately Here's the thing. I advocate for the agency of women, and I didn't imagine having sex with this woman at all. I thought I'm the type of nerd that if you Netflix and chill, I'll be like, okay, we're going to watch this movie, right?
Have you ever pushed a woman off? You're like, whoa, this is a good part.
No. I see. I don't. That's how nerdy I am. If you're going to start watching a movie, pay attention to it. Like we can do everything else afterwards, or just turn off the movie and we can get back to it. But
so, how would you handle if, like, sitting on the couch, you're just past the title sequence, and she starts making a move? What?
You fucking pause. I was like, well, since we're not going to pay attention to the movie, nom. By the way, I don't like being blown. I'm not against it. It does feel good, but I'm not really for it. I'm all for eating a woman out, though. I love doing it. It's also me making up for an inadequacy. I have a small penis. Like, I have a hard time coming because I masturbate so much, so I got porn brain. Like, I'm my own worst enemy when it comes to sex in terms of like, I don't know if so allegedly I'm okay in bed. I'm not bad from what these women say. I'm taking them at their word and I'm not disbelieving them. It's more my own, once again, self-loathing. But like, I want to make up for, like, I want these women to, what's the point of having sex if both of us are not feeling pleasure, right?
Agreed. That is 100% the right mentality to have.
Yeah.
But real quick, I want to circle back. You were having ramen.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. I know.
This show tangents all the fucking time. Don't feel bad.
How autistic of it.
Maybe I'm on the spectrum. Shit.
I don't know why I did that. Anyways. So, yeah, we were having ramen and we're talking, she's like, oh, I thought this was a date. I'm like, no, I thought we got together because we're enjoying a meal and getting to know each other so we can like know each other's background, because you need to do that in order to write properly for one or each other. So we go back to where this is very thankfully coincidental. The first place I moved to when I first moved out, my first year, was a friend of, so my twin brothers. Yes, I have a fraternal twin brother. He's not autistic at all. He gets puss. He's perfectly normal. And he's smart and good at business and everything. I do stand up because I'm being me. You couldn't have me sell anything because I'll just say all the bad things about it too. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, so we go back to my place. The first year I moved out was in this mansion in the Hollywood Hills because of his ex-girlfriend, who was still friends with her and her family. He posted trying to help me find a place, and they're like, oh, we have a place in the Hollywood Hills. We'll let them live there for $700 a month, including utilities. I'm like, really? So I got to live in this fucking pretty much legitimate mansion. I hope none of this sounds braggadocious or anything. I'm very grateful for these experiences.
Not at all.
Anyways, so we go back, and here's the thing. I don't want to, if you're talking to someone, regardless of if it's like a dude or a lady, I like going back to my room to talk because unless we want to actively be around another person, I need to. I already have enough time, hard enough time concentrating on inanimate objects. So I took her back to my room. No intention of sex. I was not planning it. And I was talking to her about, so I have done this thing with many female friends. And this is, by the way, one of the best things about stand-up for me is I don't mind being in the friend zone. I'm just happy to have a friend. So I will take everyone as long as they legitimately want to be my friend back. I will not I hate anyone's like, men and women can't be friends. I'm like, I'm living proof. Fuck off. Anyways. So I tell her about how I do have there's been a bunch of female friends and I wanted to turn this into material about, I have asked and with the utmost respect and let me rephrase. So there have been many female friends of mine that, as long as I felt comfortable enough with them to ask them this, I would preface this and like, do not worry about this if you have to say no. As long as I have not crossed the line, I want to continue being friends with you. And I ask them as friends if we could have sex. And that's only, by the way, worked out basically once or twice, I think.
Okay, we got to double back to that, but let's continue on.
Don't worry, we'll get to it. I was planning. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
So I'm telling this MILF about it, and she's like, I'll have sex with you just out of nowhere. Like, as I'm telling her this, and I was legitimately in shock. Like, I was like, there's a part of me who I didn't want to be disrespectful and was honestly was going to say no. Not that I didn't want to have sex with her. I just didn't. I'm scared of being bad to people in general, and I don't want to take advantage of anyone. But half a minute, and I'm like, yeah, let's do this thing. I had to.
Well, fuck yeah. But you also got to think of the flip side. If you had shot her down, think of how much that would have hurt.
Not in a disrespectful manner. I was not thinking of her. I just was scared of doing wrong.
Right. Well, I'm giving you the other point of view.
Sure.
Like, you're like, I'm scared of doing wrong. Well, obviously she has her own agency. She wanted to have sex.
Right.
And she may have, if you had shot her down, she may have gone home and like, what the fuck's wrong with me? Why didn't he want to have sex with me?
I can understand that. As someone who constantly over-evaluates and overthinks on the things he's done, I always do my best to mean well. I am only human, so I'm nothing but frailty and failings. But I'm happy to be that way, regardless. It means I'm human.
Exactly.
So yeah. By almost a half minute after getting like out of shock, I'm like, fuck yes. So we got together 2 separate times.
Protected or unprotected?
Oh, so those first 2 times I got together unprotected, even though the second time I did get a condom. Here's the thing. I asked her, and this is me being Captain Trusting, I asked her, wait, I don't, at the first time I definitely didn't have any condoms. Like, because I don't expect any of these situations. So I tell her this, and she's like, "Oh no! I assure you, I have no venereal disease, and I have my tubes tied." So by the way,
so blast away,
pretty much. So we even the second time we got together, I was about to get condoms on. She's like, "No, you don't have to worry about that. I'm not." And she's like, "It's up to you." And I'm like, in the back of my head, I always at the time in the back of my head, I was thinking of all the times everyone else was like, "Oh, dude, sex without condoms feels so good because the condom gets in the way." Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, as long as you're being honest and not have a venereal disease or a way to get pregnant. So those first 2 times I had unprotected sex. Since then, I have made an effort. The first time with the prostitute, I was gonna ask for a condom, and she was good at her job. She had the condom before I could even on the verge of asking. But yeah, and those were fun. But that's where I came to find out that I can last for a really long time because that's how frequently I masturbate and how much porn brain I have. So
on a daily basis, how much are you masturbating?
It used to be like once or twice a day. It used to be, but now I'm old enough. Like maybe I'll do it once a day, and maybe 3 days out of the week at most I won't do it. But or sometimes I'll have to take like a week or 2 off because I will masturbate so much I will run out of like sperm. Basically, not like the sperm itself, but even like it's become so hard to get any
shooting dust.
Practically, I masturbate so much that I don't like lube. Because I'm small penis slipping off like crazy. No joke. I can't keep a firm like cow milking grip. and so I don't mind sometimes when my penis like creates a little like self lube, but even then I have to like dry myself off a little with my spur blanket or whatever you call it, spooge napkin. There we go. What? You've never used a spur? Oh, I'm sure you every time you jizz, it's on a lady.
No, I constantly masturbate.
Solidarity. Anyways,
Yeah, no, I don't just have just one spooge napkin.
I use toilet paper. Anyways,
like a civilized adult.
exactly. So it gets to the point that because I don't lube, or even when I lube with my self lubricant that comes out of me, I masturbate so furiously and hard that I will literally cause like Indian burns on my penis. Like sometimes to the point that there's just a little blood will come out.
Use lube, goddammit.
No, I refuse. I just stay away from my penis. I put a little Neosporin on the wound. And, dude, there have been 2 separate times where I didn't realize I had a cuticle like open on my nail, and I didn't feel any pain. And I looked down just to see how I'm doing while I'm masturbating, and the top of my penis is basically covered in blood. And I didn't like strike a vein or make a huge wound. Arby's once again. I just didn't realize the little thing was sticking out of my thumb. But this is how addicted I am basically to porn or to masturbating. I see that I'm not in pain or don't feel pain. And I'm like, I'll finish off anyways. Even with the top of my penis covered in blood. That's happened. Like where I was like, but I'm almost there, so fuck it. I'll keep going. I'm a mess. I want to have a girlfriend or date someone so I have a reason to stop masturbating as much. Not because, to specifically have sex with her, just so like I have so I can have a healthy enough mind space and sensitivity in my penis that I don't have to fucking look at my favorite Ava Devine 2 girl 1 guy scene on X Hamster. By the way, that MILF, she was very kinky and accommodating. She was really awesome for to have the first lady I got to have sex with that wanted to be there. That wasn't she was really awesome, and it didn't work out after the second time. So a lot of my friends were like, "All right, you gotta set because we were just friends with benefits. We gotta set terms." And she had like an older daughter, and I said, because I thought, it's a good thing to say because it would be weird otherwise. I don't ever want to meet your daughter because that would be. And she got offended at that. I'm like, I think she thought I meant something pedophilic. Is that a term? Like, I don't know, but I think she took it the wrong way, even if it wasn't that. And we never saw each other again.
She probably took it just on a surface level is possibly just a lack of interest in intimacy with you because her daughter's an important part of her life.
Oh, sure. I listen to my friends a little. I'm Captain Trusting, despite the fact, on the contrary as well, I don't trust anyone. Because I'm terrified of everyone. I don't want. My literal perception of things is so intense that like. It doesn't make the life I live that easy. Like, it almost makes it easier for me to stay in my room days at a time because I'm so scared. Even though these are irrational thoughts, I'm thinking that, everyone's mad at me for some reason or another, even though they're not. They've never been. I realize I create my own cage, my own hell. And by the way, I'm not trying to be poetic. Look at me.
I mean, we all do it to a degree. Don't get.
But this comes with the territory. I have, as diagnosed with my doctor, I don't know if it's connected to. No, I think it's connected to the Asperger's. It's a perceptual impairment. So I read into things a lot, and because I'm also scared of people or that I've done something wrong somehow, I over apologize a lot. So if you haven't counted on or played a drinking game with it and gotten drunk yet, I how many times have I apologized? At least 6 times so far.
At least before we even got on mic.
Oh yeah. It's a constant. I'm so glad people haven't abandoned me, but sometimes that's why I stay inside because absence makes the heart grow fonder. So I'm scared if I'm constantly around everyone, they're going to grow tired of me and get rid of me. They not be my friend anymore, not want me to be in the comedy community. Even though, once again, I recognize this irrational thoughts, they're so pervasive that even if I know they're not real, they still push me away in order to live a life that doesn't harm the people I love.
Well, at the point, if they're pushing you away, fuck them.
Yeah, I gotcha. So
I gotta know.
Okay.
With the MILF, she was honest with you. No venereal disease, no STD.
Yeah, I didn't get any venereal disease. Although the one thing scared me, someone was talking about, I don't know if it was another comedian or it was on a podcast or something about how like, tube size doesn't do anything. You can still get pregnant or give sperm if you're a guy. But hey, as far as I know, I have not accidentally fathered a child in Big Bear or something.
I'm sure she would have came back around and at least said something or tried to get some money out of you.
Well, that was one of so the funny thing with her is she said she was also high functioning autistic and so was her older daughter. So she has a great understanding of me. And that was great when talking with her, not just having sex or one day I was talking to her and I said, as a fear, I told her this is me speaking out of a paranoid scenario and that I know this isn't real. I just need you to help affirm me. I asked her, you're not trying to like secretly have a kid so we have to give you money or anything like that. And she's like, no, I come from a actually pretty rich family myself. I'm like, all right, fuck. Thank God. It's not that it's a distrust in a woman or distrust in people so much as I just want to make sure, because I can be a bit of a pushover. I can be easy to take advantage of depending on things. Like, I worked hard to not be as much of a pushover, but yeah, I'm Captain Trusting. I just want to connect with people so badly. And not just in a physical, sexual way. That's ever secondary. I'm so grateful for stand up once again. It opened my world up in so many ways. And so I've gotten to have sex a couple times, and still, because I never know what's happening, I'm still masturbating constantly.
Sometimes when you get in relationships, that doesn't change either. You're still having sex and you're still masturbating.
I will say the good thing about being the nerd, like leading a sort of lonely nerd life, and what was I had a point. Leading a nerdy life and not having that kind of much of interaction with women, it helped me appreciate women. And that's why I don't, especially why I'm happy to be just their friend, like human interaction is what's important to me, not a specific genders. I'm so glad that I have people who are comedians or autistic or worse. They just haven't been diagnosed, except for me. I'm diagnosed. But we're all a bunch of fucked up people, so the solidarity is incredible. And that's where it comes from too. The humor always comes from a place where like your brain is all fuddled with, so you're just doing your best to put your perceptions out there, and your perceptions happen to be decently funny.
Hey, I've said it multiple times. Fucked up backgrounds make for the most interesting people.
Can I ask you about porn stars since you're so in that business?
Certainly.
All right, so another thing, thanks to years and years of masturbating, you masturbate that much as when you're a fan of a porn lady. Not that I'm like, I don't stan anyone. That phrase, standing. It's a new thing. The kids today.
I don't even know what that is.
I mean, it's related to the song by Eminem, Stan.
Oh, standing. Oh, okay, yeah.
Stan,
yeah, no, I do know what that means. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so if I'm a fan of anyone from anything, like I still am like, oh my God, I'm marking out so hard. Like I've rarely done that in my life, and that was like maybe once and twice in my 34 years of life, and very, very inconsistently, even at that. So if I ever bumped into Priya Rai.
Oh, I know Priya.
Yeah. I one time actually, not Angelina Castro. She's a porn star too, but Angelina Valentina, the one that she's retired, right?
I think so. It's hard to keep up with everybody.
Big fake boobs.
That doesn't help.
I know.
She has a vagina too, you say?
I know. She's sexy in every facet. Okay. So, no, but like one time I was at the Comedy Store and I guess one of the comedians' girlfriends was a porn lady that I masturbate to. So I said that half jokingly. And she's like, "Oh, thank you," and shook my hand. I'm like, "Oh, I'm glad that's a compliment. I mean it as such." So, like, if I'm at Priya Rai and establish that I'm well-meaning and say things to be funny, well, and I would totally be like, "Thank you for your hard work. I appreciate it. I genuinely appreciate it. It. Thank you."
Should bring you out to one of the fight nights. Priya comes out to those pretty often.
What's a fight night?
So one of the things I do is I host occasionally Caliente Cage Rage, Burn Rhinos, Dames and Games, Top of Sports Bar and Grill. So it is full contact girl fights.
Cool. Supporting the ladies in the MMA.
Yeah, but it's a lot of either strippers or porn stars fighting.
Right. It'd be the one and only time I'd ever go to a strip club because one, don't got the money for it, and two, it's a cock tease. It's not my bag.
Yeah, it's not mine either.
Yeah.
Don't take that the wrong way.
Yeah. Hey,
I love you, Spearmint Rhinos, Dames and Games, Top of Sports Bar and Grill. Please keep booking me.
Yes. There's never any disrespect. It's a matter of personal preference and monetarily.
Well, for me, I also spent a lot of years as a roadie for girls, so I go on the road with girls to feature clubs,
right? Scoop
their dollar bills, make sure they got from point A to point B.
Oh yeah. You're
so it's like, this is not where I want to be.
Oh yeah, I one time I forget. Diamond, not she, white blonde lady. Not I almost said Diamond Jackson. That's the black lady. Diamond. Does a lot of MILF porn. She might be retired. Once again, I that's how lonely I am. I'm fan enough that I through the grapevine I'm like, oh, this porn star died. That's sad. Or this porn star retired. Oh, that's sad. Like not that there's anything wrong with even being a fan with them in the first place. I feel like that's like you particularly end up doing that if you particularly masturbate that much.
There's nothing wrong with it. Performers love their fucking fans.
Exactly. Trust me. So Diamond, whatever her face. So one time Sam Tripoli used to do the Naughty Show, and he did a store show at the Comedy Store, and I was just hanging around, and I went up to Diamond, whatever. And it wasn't Skin Diamond. That's another fun story. I'll tell you right immediately after. And I said, "Hey, since you seem cool about it, would you like to have sex?" And she's like, "No!" And I'm like, "I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go bang my head against the wall." And she laughed, and then everything worked out.
Awesome.
I don't know. That was very impulsive of me, and I've never done anything like that again. So the Skin Diamond thing was another Naughty Show that he did. I don't care for. I don't need. I have my own right hand. I don't care for like what's the fake vagina
Fleshlight.
Thank you. So Skin Diamond was presenting, and she's like, "Contest, free fleshlight if you let me slap you really hard in the face." And I wasn't thinking of the flashlight. I thought everyone would laugh really hard if I got struck in the face. So I volunteered for it. Yeah, she's a dominatrix. She strikes hard. And I won a flashlight. I used it once, and it wasn't anything. It's not just the coldness or lube, or it's not a real person. That's why I don't get the whole sex robot thing. Listen, I'm all for advocating AI and blah blah blah, blah but like I prefer a full flesh-blooded. I sound like a serial killer.
I'd prefer a full meat bag.
Yes, exactly.
You know what's crazy is there's actually prostitute unions fighting robot brothels opening.
That's crazy. By the way, I don't judge the robots or dudes who use VR and the fleshlight in Japan. You've seen that thing where, like, whatever restriction, I masturbate to hentai. I don't care, but like, I masturbate to it. I still want and I rarely do even that. I want a full-on human woman to be with. In fact, I prefer to one that I'm dating or is my girlfriend or genuinely decently wants to be with me in terms of casual sex. Like, I don't like the idea of just like, even when I said that to that Diamond lady, I'm like, I'm glad she knew I was just half bullshit. like I didn't have any expectations, but I was scared like it came off serious and I really freaked her out. That's why anyways. So I want to Skin Diamond slap me like 2 or 3 times really hard in the face. And I want a fleshlight and used it once and then cleaned it out properly. Put it in a. I did come in it, and I put it in a trash bag and put it in the corner of my room for a good 5-6 years, and then when I was moving out, I threw it away.
Just reminding you of your shame in the corner. It's just
no, that's just purely unadulterated laziness. It's funny because I'm OCD and I have things I don't have a messy room. I have things very, not immaculate, but organized, basically. Like I am no slob or hoarder. Like I don't want to hold on to things forever. But if I have something, I want to properly have it and have a place to put it in. Anyways, what you were gonna say? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you didn't cut me off. Don't worry.
But yeah, I would totally love to meet Priya White. There's a fantasy in the back of my head. I wish I could have sex with a woman like that. I don't expect it nor want it necessarily.
Well, I'll bring you out to one of the fight nights, or we do topless karaoke in Van Nuys.
Oh, nice. I'll be topless too. It'll be fun.
Yeah, the next one's in February. It's on Thursday.
I hope I didn't just gross her out if she heard that. Listen, I'm not standing you. I don't necessarily want to have sex with you. You're a nice lady. Thank you for all the masturbation material. I don't want. If anything, I'm just as usual trying to make a friend for wholeheartedly. I'm also extremely honest and hopefully being still respectful.
I don't think she'd be offended by it.
All right, good.
No porn star is like, oh my God, I'm so offended people masturbate to me.
Oh, no, that's not the problem.
That's the job.
I just want to be a toxic masculinity gross dude to a lady.
No, it'd be toxic masculine. You're like, oh, you're going to fuck me, right?
Ugh. Yeah. I'm not that. That's another. I'm one. I feel like I'm one of the few people who like is on the internet, sees all the gross stuff, and it doesn't make me the gross the same. I see that I'm like, I don't want to treat another human being like that. By the way, I hope I don't sound like I'm tooting my horn. Look how virtue signaling. Oh, look how good a human being I am. I hope my honesty rings true. Just because I'm honest doesn't mean I'm right, but I hope I'm coming off as a good person.
You are.
I hope I'm not being a control freak either.
No, I still think you should use lube though.
Yes, I understand. I've been more when I get when some automatic lube comes out of my penis while I'm masturbating. I've tried to embrace it more instead of.
I think you should just try some different lubes and try to find one you like.
I also don't want to put that. I just want to masturbate. I don't want to, especially if I'm doing it multiple times a day. I don't want to put like that much effort. I just need to get the little grip of toilet paper. I just want.
How much effort is to squeeze a little bottle? Squeezy, just a little squeeze.
I feel like it. This is me being lazy. I admit full on. This is me being an idiot.
Like for example, the KY warming is great.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's a little warm to the touch. Pretty nice.
I would totally, if I met a porn lady and we became friends and even ended up like potential romance, I'm not someone who would be like, but my parents, ooh. I think we have to respect everyone's job as long as they're not hurting or taking advantage of another human being.
So you would be okay with your partner having sex with other people?
Yeah, because as long as one, consensual, and two, she's safe. Like even if she's not doing like I think despite like rules, there's still places where they can do non-condom porn, right?
Oh yeah, it very regularly happens here in Los Angeles.
Exactly. I don't mind that as long as everything is safe with her. I wouldn't want to be with someone who didn't even though I self-loathe and I eat badly because I hate myself sometimes. I still like respect myself, so I'm not like obese or like I try to do right by myself and. I drink nothing but water. I eat banana and apple every day. I like walking a lot. I try to treat myself right so I can live a fruitful life. Like as long as it's the same with her. You can't have a toxic relationship with anyone regardless of their job.
So you'd be okay with your partner coming home, her telling you about her beat up vagina, like. It was a really rough day on set. I'm really sore. Can you draw me an Epsom salt bath?
Yeah.
Cool.
As long as
that's awesome.
Yeah. Like we're like, I don't mind. Oh, I want to have sex. Oh, I'm tired. I worked all day. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Like We're human beings. As long as there's a connection between us as human beings, that's the point in a relationship, isn't it not?
It is, and you're the right kind of person to be dating someone in the industry. That you'd be amazed how many dudes are like, yeah, I want to date a porn star, and then the reality of, oh, my girl's gonna go off and fuck somebody else today for work, and they just can't get past the jealousy or the possession of it.
Right.
Those are the kind of people that shouldn't be dating anyone in the industry, and that's why a lot of the industry dates within the industry.
Right.
Because they don't want to deal with someone who doesn't fucking get it. Hell,
sorry, go ahead.
I've been in the industry for almost a decade at this point, and I'm not a performer. I've never been a performer. I never want to be a fucking performer. And I've had performers that I've been intimate with who've been like, I don't think this is going to work. I can only date performers. Yeah, it's like, oh, this is disappointing, but is what it is. I'm not gonna sit here and try to sell you on being in a relationship with me.
Right.
If this is not where you want to be, this isn't where you want to be.
Respect the one's agency and as a human being. Like, if you are not comfortable, I'm not going to force anything on you, and vice versa.
Yeah, I'm not going to force shit on you, and I also don't feel that I have to sell you on me like I'm a used car.
Right. I
like, check that undercoating, girl.
It's funny. I constantly want to date other female comedians, and a lot of comedians are like, "Oh, you don't want to shit you where you eat," but I'm always like, "But that shit's delicious." Here's the thing: I struggle to relate to women outside of comedy. I can relate to women in comedy because they're like me. They're fucked up. They have same sensibilities and backgrounds. It's the first time I've ever been able to relate to. Once again, not just the first real like social life I've ever had, but also like women that I've been able to relate to outside my older sister and my mom. I'm very grateful for these experiences, but it's to the point like I don't mind. I want to believe that if I got into a romantic relationship with a comedian, there's a whole lot of things where there have been comedians who hook up or became boyfriend or girlfriend, and it ends really badly, and the girl especially feels like they can't go to any comedy club, especially ones where their ex-boyfriend is. If I got into a relationship with someone, I want to be I want to be good enough friends with them first. This is how much of a dopey romantic I am. But also, I want them to know that I got into a relationship with them because they're my friend, and I want to still see them like the friends we've always been before. Even if a romantic relationship doesn't work out, I don't like the idea of them feeling scared to see me after everything's said and done. What's the point of getting together if we can't tolerate each other like that? I can understand when you first break up, kind of don't want to see each other for a little bit. I understand that, and I pride myself on trying to be as understanding as humanly possible. But in the end, I'm like, I couldn't live with myself if I, in the sense, harmed a woman that way, where she didn't feel comfortable with me after everything was said and done.
Sadly, that may be beyond your control.
Oh, absolutely. I understand. It's merely talking about my fears. I hope I don't sound like I'm a control freak or anything like that.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Who's your female comedian crush at the moment? You have to have one, right?
I crush on so many female comedians. I actually am crushing on Isabel Herman. Like we were supposed to get ramen just as friends, and she never got back to me because my plan was, all right, let me see, because we still basically barely know each other. So let's get ramen together as friends and see how I feel with her. If I like her at the end of that, I will ask her on a legitimate dinner date. Hopefully this will still happen, at least just the ramen as friends. She must be busy. I'm not judging. What was I going to say? But yeah, Isabel, I'm attracted to so far mentally and physically. I've been friends with her a long time. I've asked a lot of women out on dates, but I don't remember who. I don't think I've asked her out, but for some time I've been wanting to. Marcela Arguello. Man, if I got into a relationship with her, you can't even pronounce my last name. I'm like, well, granted, but a lot of people struggle with my last name. Meyrowitz, not Meyrowitz or micro tits. Take a shits. But that's neither here nor there. But she's very, I find her very attractive, and I feel like it's funny. I I'm also scared of asking because I don't want to disrespect these friends of mine. Sometimes I get the feeling any woman, let alone a female comedian, don't want to be asked out. Just don't want to be asked out. Yeah, I'm just doing my best, despite having a literal inability to read people properly. Read them as best as I can. Who's another comedian? No, I asked her out. Candace Thompson. She's very funny though. She's a good person. I've asked out a lot of female comedians. They always are like, oh, it's you don't. It's one you don't know unless you ask. What I learned from my mom and daddy is like, you don't know, you don't ask.
Yeah, you can't win unless you put something in the pot.
Exactly. Name someone and I'll tell you if I crush on them.
Let's see, Kate Quigley.
Yes, but we've established that she's not interested in me. I've talked to her even on a podcast. Oh, it sounds like as friends you would like to have sex, and she's coy, but then she outright says no. So I've gotten off of it, but like gotten off of it, not off on it. Just was making sure the right words were coming out. She's very. We've also had our words with each other. We're still friendly, very much friends, not just friendly friends. No, and I don't think she'd be mad if I talked about this. One time we didn't have an argument. It was just a conversation. Like we had a difference of philosophy. I mentioned earlier in the podcast, like I talk about autism a lot in my stand-up and general humor because it's a major facet of my life. I don't want people to think that's a gimmick, especially I don't want to be exploitive to the autistic community by doing that. But she's like, oh, well, I'm a sexy girl. It's a gimmick. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm like, okay, that's fine for you. So she's like, but yeah, you have Autistic Thunder as your Instagram and Twitter and everything. That's your gimmick. You're autistic. I'm like, I don't know. You don't understand why. And it's fine ultimately. But I wish but you can't control people that sometimes I fault myself that I didn't articulate my case properly.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the Autistic Thunder gimmick is what gets them in the door. Once they're in the door,
sure,
you expose them to everything else. That you're not just two-dimensional. I'm not just Autistic Thunder.
Yeah. I ultimately accept the nickname if people like it that much. But I think if anything, the nickname isn't entirely widely known yet, so nobody's introducing me for the most part as Autistic Thunder Joshua Meyrowitz.
I'm amazed they're not. You were on Comedy Central as Autistic Thunder.
I don't know. That wasn't my. Jeff said it on camera. I think
a bunch of times.
Oh, cool. I didn't go back and watch. I'm not a fan of this guy pointing myself. Jeff is awesome. I was scared that came off the wrong way.
For the audio listeners, the video listeners can see you.
Oh, yeah. I'm pointing to me. All that talk about self-loathing, and now I'm talking shit about Jeff Ross. How dare I? No, Jeff is a good guy. Very good guy. I'm not saying nary a word negatively about him or anyone. I hope I didn't say anything negatively about Kate.
No, not at all.
So yeah. I don't mind. Yeah, the foot in the door. Yeah, it's fine. I get it. The autism makes me eccentric or unique.
Well, Brad Williams talks about his stature all the time.
Absolutely. And Josh Blue, his cerebral palsy. It's just a matter of exploitation. They don't do it either. But they have to talk about it because it's a major facet of their life.
It's what gets some people in the door.
Exactly. I'm fine with that. For the time being, until people totally know me as Autistic Thunder Joshua Meyrowitz, I'm just Joshua Meyrowitz on stage. So until I'm Autistic Thunder, I tell people who introduce me, don't say I'm autistic, because here's the reason why. It's for me to say. It kind of ruins like me introducing myself because it's my cross to bear, so to speak. I want to be able to say that so people, I feel like if someone says I'm autistic before I even get on stage, then it's
the punchline becomes a love tap.
Exactly. I just want to do a good job. I wouldn't do the same to others. Oh, that reminds me of another comedian I have a crush on. Barbara. I'm friends with this lady. Barbara. Could go on Facebook and quickly Facebook. But story to that as well is so I was crushing on her one time. I rarely ever host a show, and I was really crushing on her, whether she noticed or not. And before I introduced her on stage, I was like, I'm totally going to ask this woman out sometime tonight. Here she is, and I felt really bad after that because I thought I just did something disrespectful to her. So I never if she was expecting me to ask her out after that, genuinely, I can understand if she is displeased with me for not doing it, because I was just trying to do the right thing, make up for a wrong I possibly created. Barbara. Oh, Barbara Gray. There we go. She's pretty busty. That's a cherry on top, not a me being a gross objectifying a woman dude.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with admitting what you're into. I'm into big tits.
Oh yeah. Here's the thing for me. I don't mind if I was ever in a relationship or having casual sex with a woman who's completely like A cup flat. That's fine, as long as there's a connection and I'm ultimately attracted to her mind and body otherwise, and vice versa.
Obviously, you talked about Isabel. Isabel is not busty.
Yeah, exactly. I love big boobs so much I do fetishize. I love fake boobs in particular, but I love real boobs too.
Have you been with a woman with fake boobs?
Yeah, the MILF.
Oh, the MILF had fake tits?
And then I ended up having sex with a stripper one time.
Can't just bury the lead on that one.
No. I figured you were going to ask. I was letting you. Okay.
Let me do my hosting job. Thank you.
Thanks to comedy, especially roast battle, I've met a lot of interesting people. So this lady, one night after roast battle, I'm talking to another comedian, or I'm going by these audience members, and they stop me and they're like, "Hey, we like what you did," and she's one of them, and I'm like, "Oh, cool." Find her very attractive, of course. Not just because of the fake boobs. She's an attractive woman. Boobs are nice. I'm my mother's child. I even have a hefty Jewish bosom. I don't mind when a lady licks my boobs. It's happened. I'm like, it doesn't do anything for me, but if she likes it, she's all good. I ain't gonna judge. They're there for a reason, regardless. Okay, so I'm talking to another comedian, Tony Barloni, really funny dude. And she comes up to us. It sounds like it feels like she's trying to like talk to me, like get to know me type, but I couldn't read her well. So me and Tony, she's especially since, and not to be hypocritical because I've interrupted people, and me and Tony just continue talking with each other, and then I stopped the conversation almost a minute later and be like, "Hey, I gotta ask this lady something." I go up to her and I was like, "Hey, were you trying to ask me out or something?" And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, okay, fantastic." I kind of regret a little, not because she was a stripper. She was like the movie stereotype of a stripper where she had baggage. She had baggage.
Like what?
Like, oh, she's divorced. She has a kid. She barely sees the kid. She does a lot. She's hungover from the night before from drugs and probably alcohol or one or the other. Like, it's like every stereotype of a stripper from a mafia movie.
Sounds like a good time to me.
Hey, I wasn't judging either, but like,
she's living the best life she can.
But she was a trip. Because she was like this, she was because of her like drunken or drugginess, she was a little like extra aggressive and loud in general. So like I like sort of like half put it out there that I was thirsty, but at the same time, like I had at the very same time, expecting nothing from her. I'm eating a meal with her, and we're talking, getting to know each other, and eventually we do go back to my place, and we start making out, and I try to take off her top. She's like, "No, I don't feel like it," and I immediately stop. I'm like, "Hey, listen, it seems like you don't want to have sex. That's perfectly fine. Let's just watch a movie or something if you want to." Or she's like, "Yeah." And like not even 10 minutes in the movie, she's like, "Can you give me a back massage?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I'm legitimately I basically learned how to give do you know Jamar Neighbors?
No, I've never actually met Jamar, but I know who he is.
He's awesome. He's hilarious. He's one of the first friends I made in stand-up. And he's a guy that one way or another, he's going to be extremely successful. And I'm very happy for him. he would always like give me like really quick like neck massages, and it taught me that you're supposed to be really hard, like with your fingers and with rubbing. So I'm legitimately doing my best to give her a legitimate back massage, as best as someone like me who doesn't know necessarily, was never taught how to give a back massage. I'm going based off of how movements I've seen people do in like movies and shit, or when I've had I've had a back massage in the past. I don't know.
Just piece of advice: don't go off massage pornos to learn how to give a massage.
I wasn't. Trust me. I skipped the Nuru part and skip the massage part and go straight to the Nuru. So, like, I'm giving, and it's a good like 30 minutes. Like, I'm spending time hopefully doing her a favor, helping her out, and then she's like, starts rubbing my boobs. I'm like, okay, and we start making out, and then we get to the sex. I feel a little bit guilty because
no condom on this one.
Condom this time, absolutely. She had, not because she was a stripper, but she, like I said, she seemed like even if she didn't have a venereal disease, I don't want to be involved. God forbid I accidentally make her pregnant. I'm now involved in the baggage. I don't need to be another part of this lady's crazy life.
But you already are.
We did.
You don't need to be a permanent part of her crazy life.
No, in fact, okay, I'll explain afterwards. Anyways, so, yeah, we have sex, but especially towards the end, I feel like it's especially whether I came or not. I felt like another gross dude taking advantage of this lady. There's a part of me.
So wait a minute, if you came or not, did you come?
No, just like the other times, I couldn't come. Once again, I masturbate too much.
So have you never finished with a woman?
With the MILF, the second time we got together, she would like play with me or let me play with myself and like tweak my nipples and shit like that while I was masturbating to a porn and let me blow load on her tits. So yay, live the dream a little bit on that. But like that's basically outside of that. And by the way, going all the way back to the prostitute at the massage parlor, she had to jerk me off so hard. She constantly having to dry off the gel from my penis, but also jerking me up so hard. Like she was giving, my dick felt like it was getting like an all around Indian burn. Like she, that's how much like bad I masturbate. And I was able eventually to come, but it took a little bit, and it wasn't like I'm a fucking Peter North blowing loads all over the place.
You gotta take zinc to do that.
Yeah, I know. He like eats celery. His whole thing. Very interesting story. Anyways, but like between that and then blowing the load on the MILF's boobs that one time, like all the times afterwards, like no matter how sexy the ladies were, and they were, and I'm grateful I've gotten to have sex with at least someone. At least I think. Granted, all the women I've had sex with are sexy, regardless of subjectively. I don't know. I'm not trying to insinuate anything about them. They are sexy no matter what to me. I hope that didn't come off weirdly.
Not at all.
Anyways, so with the stripper, I couldn't come, and she was trying to help me. She was like putting herself in positions, like erotic positions, showing me her pussy, even though that's not like necessary. I love the pussy, but like it's not. She doesn't know. It's not her fault. I wouldn't blame anyone in the first place.
Well, but have you ever thought it's psychological? Because if you're not in the right headspace,
well,
it's hard
yes,
to come
I'm
to.
also worrying. I do apologize during sex, not profusely, thankfully, but like at most once or twice, because I'm scared I'm being too rough. I'm not rough by default or anything. I'm a big guy. I don't know if I'm hurting and if that's a pain and not a pleasure to the woman. So I'm trying to make sure I adjust properly. So she's having fun. It's also me worrying that she's, you don't want a lady you're having sex with to not have fun too.
I agree.
I do tangent. I do not rough as in we're slapping and hitting each other, but I like. So I did get to have sex with one comedian who will not be named because she doesn't want me to name her. And she was great because she would like claw my back, and she was like really small, so like I could, even though I'm not, I don't have muscles, I could do the thing where like she's on top of me, and I grab her, I put my arms around her, and then I literally lift and switch her around to missionary. That's so hot. Even
nothing makes you feel like a man just being able to move your partner around like that. What you should try if you're ever with a small woman again is actually picking her up and carrying her while you fuck her.
Yeah, that whole thing, I've seen that. There's been some pre-ride porno with that.
But when you do it in real life, nothing makes you. It's not the best sex position in the world, but there's just something that goes off. At least for me, something that goes off in my brain, like, yeah, I'm a fucking man.
You know what? It rings true. I'm not like the biggest porn fuck style guy.
No one should be having porn sex in real life. Porn sex is supposed to be aesthetically pleasing, not actual like stimulating genitals pleasing.
Yeah, exactly. So like that one thing where she's on top of me and I lift her up just quickly and bring her to missionary. That's one of the few like that actually works. Because it's a really quick thing. It's not something where I keep her fucking in the air or something. It's something aesthetically pleasing in that way. Yeah, Kate was like, "Oh, that's so hot." I'm like, right? I want to feel like a man too, but at the same time, I don't want to do it at the demerit of a woman, especially the one I'm in bed with. What was I saying? Oh, so.
But she might be into it.
Oh, if she is, like the girl I was talking about who's clawing my back and she's like, "Oh, I created these scrapes all over your back," and I'm like, "It's perfectly fine." Like, I'm not necessarily like big in the rough sex, but there's parts of it that I really like, and if it's consensual, fuck yeah. But I'm not.
A woman clawing up your back is definitely a turn on for you.
She doesn't like full on, but like enough that there's scrape marks on my back. Yeah, that's fine as long as it's not too painful. I'm not. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I'm no sadomasochist. No disrespect to BDSM people. It's not my bag. But yeah. But I'm into certain facets of it, in a sense. Like I when like if a woman really wants me to like pound her, yeah, as long as that's what she wants, I want to do my best for her. I really need a girlfriend. So like I don't care what it is, what their background is, as long as we both mentally and physically are attracted to each other. I don't expect women to be physically attracted to me. I know that's me being maybe too much self-deprecation. I'm a mushy mogwai man.
Yeah, but you're stepping over your own dick when you put it out there like that.
I understand. I've done that with my stand-up where a fan will say, "Oh, I loved your set." I'm like, "Oh, it was a bad set. I appreciate you saying that." And the other comedian's like, "Why the fuck would you do that? You just like you're stepping on your own dick." I'm like, I've gotten better at it to not step on my own dick in any of these situations, but like I still work on it. I've only learned so many social cues.
No, for sure, and it's perfectly natural to feel that way. It's just articulating it is what's stepping on your own dick.
Yes, I mean I am nothing without my articulating, though. It's
true.
I do good articulating for an autistic person. Like I wish I get mad at myself when I'm less articulate than I feel like I can be. Like I want so badly to connect with people. I mean, it's not the reason why I got into stand-up. I wanted to be good at something and make an independent living out of it, so I don't have to be on SSI and shit. Like, I'm still on disability, and I'm grateful for it, and I need it, but the ultimate goal is to be a road comic, and I'm not expecting to be famous. I just want to be good enough to make people laugh for a living. Like that.
Just to be comfortable, right?
Exactly. With all the maybe extra facets of getting to see the world a little bit. As long as I get to perform my art, they enjoy it, and I make money, so I don't have to be on disability and feel like a truly independent individual. I definitely don't want to get married or have kids until I have. I don't mind like if I was in a relationship with a girl and she was the breadwinner. I don't mind that at all. I'm a feminist. I don't give as long as we're both happy. Period. But like, I still on my side, and I learned this from my parents. Both sides should, before you have children and have a place together and all of that, make sure everything's safely. So you have enough money to properly do things so you can raise your child right, so you can afford the things you at minimal need. Like I don't know, even with comedy, if I'll ever get to be like that. I don't count it out though. The future is inadvertently bright. I'm very happy for that. I'm like, I'm so glad my Spilkus and my Genectica is actually working out for me.
I'm of two mindsets. One, I don't want kids either.
Right.
But if I were ever to be well-to-do, I'd more consider it.
Yes. You want to make sure you're not. You don't have to be rich. You just have to be comfortable, basically.
I'd have to be rich. I have some bad tastes that I'm really fucking selfish. Like,
oh yeah. I get
upper
that.
middle class, I still couldn't afford a kid.
Right.
I need to be well-to-do, otherwise I would.
I mean, even getting married, even if you're not having a big ceremony and you're just getting a license so you can have the tax breaks and whatever, but with someone you love, you just got to make sure you can do things appropriately.
I'm still mildly conflicted on marriage. Part of me wants to have the fucking awesome party. Part of me wants to just woo, we're getting married, yeah. The other part of me is like, do I really want the federal government to incorporate my love? Because that's really what we're doing here. We are signing a contract to become a business partners.
Right.
For the next whatever, how many years this lasts. Do I really want to become a business partner with someone who I'm with because tricks of brain chemistry? Because that's all really love is your brain being addicted to the person at cocaine levels.
Right. I just want things to work out, period. I one thing at a time. It's funny, I don't have outside of what we've talked about, intimacy issues. Like, I just want to make sure I do things properly at a proper pace without rushing into something and getting in way over my head. I'm Captain Trusting. I will make that mistake otherwise.
But what's rushing in?
No. I mean, it depends.
Exactly. It depends.
Yeah.
Everything's situational. Everything.
Sure. There's so many different scenarios.
Right. There are no hard and fast rules when it comes to this shit.
I absolutely understand. It depends on yourself and the woman and the combinations and who knows.
Right. How it comes together. I mean, for fuck's sake, I almost got married to someone I had hung out with twice and fucked once.
Question, since I pretty much brought it up, and I hope, once again, I don't sound like I'm standing this lady or any gross things. Do you think... Oh, that's just... I'm easily startled. Do you think someone like Priya Rai would want to date a schmuck like me?
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? That is the great part of life.
I want to see if I mentally am attracted to her.
One, that is the great part of life. You don't know unless you get to know someone.
Exactly.
One of the things that I love about my time in the industry, when I was younger, in my early 20s, it was like, oh, you're hot?
Yeah.
This is where I want to be. My time in the industry put me around so many beautiful women.
Yeah.
That it was like, oh, just because you're hot doesn't mean this is where I want to be.
Exactly. We're all different people. We all want different things. But at the same time, and this is another thing about not rushing, I obviously, by what I said, I insinuate this woman's attractive, but I don't know her. I want to see if I'm mentally attracted to her. The casual sex is nice, and that's something fine with basically rushing in. But one, not to be expected, and two, it'd be helpful if you mentally like her too.
Well, and even with casual sex, sometimes there are people that I'm physically attracted to that are just such shitty human beings. It's like, man, well, half the time I end up fucking them anyways. But I shouldn't have stuck my dick inside you. You suck.
Here's the thing. Oh, going back to something, so the stripper was a nice lady, but like about a week later, she texts me. Is like, hey, can you get me an Uber so I can visit my daughter? I'm like, and I said no, because and I didn't say this part because I don't want, that would be rude. I think I said to myself, this is not my responsibility. This is like if it doesn't sound right. It's sounding sketchy between me and her. So I think I maybe text her once afterwards just to say hello and because I was generally trying to be friendly. I sometimes I'm too friendly for my own good, and then try to be friendly with people that otherwise I should be like, maybe stay away from this person for one's own sake, whether it's hers or mine. Who knows? Like I wish her all the best. I want people to live healthy lives one way or another. I don't wish people ill. There are friends or people like I kind of dislike. I still, as long as they aren't actively like hurting and taking advantage of people, like, yeah, live your life. I'm happy for your success. It'd be a vile thing to wish you otherwise.
Yeah. Those people don't matter to you.
Yeah, we're all living our own lives and trying to do our best when we're out and about. The others, especially if we want to make friends or find the romantic and or sexual relationship. I never understood going to a bar. I don't drink in the first place. Alcohol gives me the shits. Why? And everybody's like, that does that to me too. I'm like, then why would you drink? Why would you, like, I'm OCD when it comes to poop. So, like, I am immaculately cleaning out my asshole. Like, I want to make sure there's no, as Howard Stern would say, remnants. I don't want to.
Is that so a lady will eat out your asshole?
No, I don't. I'm not unopen to it, but I don't know if I want that. It's not a thing against, I have a female friend who's bi, pan now, I guess. I want to make sure I'm using the right term.
I don't fucking know.
Well, she likes pegging dudes, and I don't know what kinks work for me. So like I was tempted to ask her, could you maybe try it with me? And here's why I didn't say it, because she seemed like the type of lady that this is the thing with me with even porn. I like sexuality when both people are completely naked. Socks optional. I don't wear socks, but I'm not going to fault anyone who wants to wear socks in bed. That's their prerogative.
Depends on the socks. It's weird. Like if you're wearing just like regular gym socks, that's weird. But if you're wearing like knee high or thigh high socks, those are okay.
Oh, erotic. Yeah, there's an erotic aesthetic to it.
It's kind of weird that like depending on the length of your sock, it's cool.
I get it. I don't mind the gym sock either because I'm not concentrating on the feet anyways.
You're missing out. No, I'm kidding. Feet are not my thing, actually.
Hey, I ain't judging if they are even.
If they were, I'd be all about like, yeah, I like feet.
Yeah, trust me, I'm all about boobs. It's funny. Once again, sex making things look attractive. The MILF had decent fake boobs, and she let me tit fuck her, and she enjoyed it. And that's cool for her because that's a rarity. Because usually women do not like tit fucking just from them talking about it. I've never had boob sex with another lady since her. But like it, yeah, of course it doesn't do anything for the dude. It's a hand or a mouth does way better. And I don't even like someone else's hand or mouth. I'm not against it either. But anyways, going back to what I was just talking about before the boob sex thing. What was I? What? Oh, fuck.
I was enthralled with the boob sex.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I love tits enough that I'm always willing to try again. But
well, we were talking about pegging. Pegging,
yes. Okay. Because I feel she was the type of lady that doesn't take all her clothes off when she pegs a dude. Not just sex. Not necessarily sex, but just pegging a dude.
Why didn't you have that conversation with her?
Because I also had asked her as friends in my respectful way, if she wanted to have sex as friends, and she said no. And I figured if she doesn't want to have sex as friends, then pegging, that's still like sex for anyone. So
no, it's definitely still sex, but maybe for her, it's much more intimate for you to be inside her versus her inside of you.
Sure, and that's fine. I don't feel comfortable with her not with wearing like most of her clothes or something. I don't know. I'm being a weirdo on that. I know that's I chose an extremely interesting hill to die on. It's an aesthetical thing for me. I have a weird thing sometimes with Chinese food and this is not a sexual thing. Just clear the air. Sometimes I like to go. I've seen in Chinese restaurants, Chinese families order a certain family style where they're picking food from the middle and putting it on their bowl of rice. So I started doing that myself, and I liked it. It somehow made the food taste better on an entirely aesthetic level. I might ask her, but in the end, I don't know, because it's always like I clean out my asshole when I take a shower, but it's always uncomfortable. It's always not uncomfortable mentally. It just physically feels uncomfortable. So I don't know if it might be my thing. I'm not against trying the pegging.
What's possibly 60 minutes of your life in the grand scheme of
60
things?
minutes. I don't know.
I'm saying start to finish, like from walking in to being done. 60 minutes of your life.
I don't know. I'm still mulling it over. It's only been half a year.
I say fucking if you're remotely interested, go for it.
I don't know if I'm even interested. I'm obviously, if I'm talking about this much, I'm obviously on
You're
some
at least
level
curious.
interested. Exactly. But I
Scratch that itch. Scratch it.
I'm tempted. I am sincerely tempted.
For the listeners out there,
yeah.
hit Joshua up. Peg him.
No. I don't just want anyone to peg me.
If you have big fake tits, peg him.
No. I don't want to. I want to peg them with my own real dick. No.
Maybe both will happen.
Yeah, that'd be fine. As long as yeah, that's fine. If I was having sex with a lady and she's like, "You mind if I peg you?" I'll like, yeah, I've never done it before. I'll give it a shot. Once again, like I don't do. I know I don't. I'm not into BDSM or anything like that. Somewhat related to that, but pegging doesn't seem bad for me.
Hey, prostate stimulation is supposed to be really fucking good.
That's what I'm going on. It's all that movie Road Trip's fault.
Milking the prostate.
Yeah, Sean William Scott and that. Yeah.
Oh, that movie was fucking classic.
I feel it's a little antiquated.
Well, obviously, the whole movie's solved by one cell phone now.
Not only that's not what it is. It's one of those things where it wasn't as funny. I'm also a weirdo where I like watching a movie or watching a watching a stand-up live with an audience of people, because I like to see the other people laughing, and that makes me enjoy it more than me even laughing myself. It's a laugh on the inside, if anything. I am a weird dude.
No.
Who isn't?
Anyways, Eurotrip is superior to Road Trip anyways.
Eurotrip, yeah, that's especially the fight with the mime.
Yeah.
Funny.
Scotty doesn't know.
That with Matt Damon.
I know.
I read recently the story behind that. Like, he was friends with like one of the producers or the director, and the director asked him like, "Yeah, sure, we'll use a fake name for me on the credits." Or he's uncredited.
He's uncredited.
Yeah. That's how cool Matt Damon is for the most part.
He did a bunch of uncredited cameos over the years. I don't think he was credited in Ragnarok either.
Oh, that's right. I've seen that movie. By the way, this is how easy to please. I equally love all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, including the TV stuff like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Netflix stuff. And if they're related, Cloak and Dagger and The Runaways. Not because even when they're bad, there's something about them that I still enjoy. I recognize bad from good, but it's also me fantasizing over the idea of these characters all like in the shared universe thing, even though the TV thing became complicated in terms of, with the TV guy, even a lot of the TV characters aren't interacting with each other, and it's the guy who runs Marvel doesn't like the Marvel movie guys. It's a whole thing. So that's why we have had Daredevil and other Defenders in the movies, which pisses me off because I want a shared universe. I want to see Daredevil and Spider-Man fight Kingpin. Come on. It's just like the comic books. That's why I love. Well, so it goes back to the thing I was saying. I love even the supposedly shitty Marvel Cinematic Universe movies like Iron Man 2 and Thor 2. Those aren't bad to me. Those are perfectly fine. There's not been, and I will die on this cross. So far, there has not been a truly bad, unwatchable Marvel Cinematic Universe movie to me. I will watch all of them in release order with glee.
Honestly, I think the first Thor is worse than Thor 2.
Yeah, I basically agree with that, yes. Thor 2 especially has a great ending fight sequence.
And the Dark Elves are fucking awesome.
Oh, yes. If anything, that it pisses me off how they screw up for the most part with villains. Like, Malekith is such a much better... Like, they got Christopher Exelion. He's a British actor. To be Malekith, the Dark Elf, and they did pretty much nothing with him. They barely did anything with what's the Finnish dude who played the villain in Doctor Strange? I forget his name. Who was Hannibal Lecter in the TV series, and he's been in a lot of great movies, and he's a great actor in general. And I'm forgetting him. He's going to be in the new Hideo Kojima game, the guy who did Metal Gear Solid. Oh, Death Stranding is what it's called, with Norman Reedus. By the way, we didn't even get it. I can go on for so long about everything. As long as I have an interest in it, like my autistic hyper focus is with what I like in porn, what I like in video games, what I like in pro wrestling, what I like in movies, comic books. God, I feel it's an interesting thing about anime. Even Japan's not is particularly good at making live action adaptations of their anime. America's particularly terrible at it.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Evolution.
That Dragon Ball Evolution, Ghost in the Shell.
I didn't even bother with Ghost in the Shell, but I saw Dragon Ball Evolution in the theaters.
Oh, I've made mistakes with other movies like that, but like you just want so bad. I saw Ghost in the Shell in theaters. It's like they won't take a chance. How do you? Okay, even in Ghost in the Shell. Okay, Rinku Kikuchi is a good actress they could use for these movies. They won't take a chance. I mean, that's the racism within Hollywood as well.
Well, then they also want to have a bankable star.
Yeah, I understand. But like Rinku Kikuchi's done a good job for foreign to Japan cinemas.
But she's not a star here.
I understand that argument. I
would watch Scarlett Johansson read a dictionary.
I mean, I like her a lot, but like, just that was not her role.
I never saw it.
Don't. They don't even do a lot of the aesthetics right. I'm hoping to God that Alita Battle Angel, which is the adaptation of Battle Angel Alita, which is also known as Gundam, where the main character in the Japanese version is known as Gali, not Alita. That's a pedantic tangent, but I'm a pedant. I can't help it. I'm excited for it, even though it's probably going to be bad. like I don't mind the big eye things. I get why it was done, not just because anime, but because that's in the comic. People forget her eyes are a little bit bigger than people in the comic book. In the comic book, even other cute female characters. Like. Plus, it goes with this other thing. I don't mind. The one thing I don't have a complaint about in Dragon Ball Evolution. People forget. Now, I'm fine with the actor being played by an Asian person. That's fine. But it makes sense that Goku isn't Asian. Goku, if people don't remember, his son Goku is named by his adoptive father, son Gohan, who he names his son after. His real name is Kakarot. So it makes sense that he's a white dude raised by an Asian dude. So like,
well, he's an alien.
Exactly. So he could be black. It doesn't matter. By the way, I love when people like, oh, why is there a black Asgardian? They're supposed to be like shut the fuck up. Also,
because Idris Elba is fucking rad.
Exactly. Took the words out of my mouth.
Idris Elba is DJing Coachella.
I heard about that. I've never been to Coachella. My brother used to go to Coachella. He's such a hipster. Coachella when it was cool, when they had Daft Punk headlining it. He went. Hey, listen, I love Daft Punk, but like my brother, I love my brother very much, but like I have Asperger's, but he's an asshole. I say he's a good person. He's just a bit of a douche. Like
you couldn't pay me to go to Coachella, but the fact that
I don't like that large amount of people.
I'm not into big festivals. Like I'm not even into big metal fests.
Me neither.
But the fact that Idris Elba is like, hey, I'm a good actor, classically handsome man, and I'm musically talented. Like, fuck you, dude. What don't you get? What can't you do?
I mean, it's not like I was going to go to Coachella anyways.
No, not exactly. At all. But
oh my god, selling point! I got to see the guy who was almost James Bond do DJing.
Luther, his mother. Well, he's actually Stringer Bell. Stringer Bell.
He's playing a lot of good characters. Here's the thing: I've never watched Luther. Not that I've not wanted to.
Have you watched The Wire though?
No. Once again, I have access to everything, but there's so much to watch. There's stuff I absolutely want. I have not watched Glow, and I love pro wrestling. The TV series based on the 80s wrestling company. I've not watched either season of that, nor the documentary. Not that I don't
that's
want
crazy because Marin is such a good comic and he's great in it.
Sure. I'm so overwhelmed with the amount of stuff I can watch. And then
spoilers real quick.
What?
In the pilot, Allison Bree's topless.
Cool. She's a hot lady, and I'm happy for the Dave Franco.
Well, yeah. It was just completely pandering. Like, we're going to do a pilot, and we're just going to get Allison Brie topless. Cool.
That's like fan service in anime. I ain't judging. As long, I mean, granted, anime is a much more misogynistic thing, but like, not that I'm a misogynist. It's just it's a Japanese culture thing, and whatever. I ain't judging. That's their bag, not mine.
Hey, if it got the show sold, good on them.
Oh yeah, I'm as long as it's okay by the actress. Yeah, once again, I'm so scared that like, oh, you say this too much, it actually means you're hiding the fact you're actually against consensuality. I'm like, this is my paranoid thoughts of how I think people are thinking of me when I talk about it. Like, they have these phrases on the internet that kind of piss me off because I'm genuinely just trying to be a good human being, and they're like, oh, you're virtue signaling. I'm like, you're a social justice warrior, so I'm not supposed to stand up for the common sensible good things?
Guess what? My thought process is, if I don't know you, I don't know your background, I don't know anything about you, your opinion doesn't fucking matter. Because at the end of the day, why should I take your opinion of, I don't know your background? Like, I don't know. You're not an expert in this field. You're not anyone I know. Why should I value your fucking opinion, anonymous person?
Right. I basically agree. It's
easier said than done, by the way.
Yes. It's also there in the problem of mine wanting desperately to connect with other human beings, especially since I spent the majority. Not that I didn't communicate with people before stand up almost 10 years ago, but I'm still learning. I mean, human beings, regardless of if they have a mental disability or not, are still learning. Nobody's a complete product. And even then, that's tangible. What was I going to say? I was talking to you about before the podcast. So there are bands I wish were more popular, not just because they're foreign in America. You think, oh, this band seems so good. How are they not a big thing? It's cool, even though I'm not into it. K-pop's such a big deal. But there's a great Japanese metal band that I will always advocate for called Maximum the Hormone. They're like a little bit, I know people like to do, they sound like this and this, or they're like a little bit of Red Hot Chili Peppers with surfer punk, and the bass player who does it the same as Flea, legitimately, and there's a contemporary and older metal influence in it, but it's also and new metal influence because it has a rap tangent to it as well. But at the same time, it's just extremely unique band, and I'm sad doesn't get more attention. I feel like even in Japan, granted, even in Japan, it feels like they're not that big of a deal. They're a big enough deal that they're known, but I recommend you check them out. They're a really unique band. I have nothing to do with them. I merely advocate because I enjoy them very much.
Hey, you played me a track before we got on air. I was digging it.
Yeah. Of course, I showed it for the weeaboos who might be listening to us. I played from What Up People, which is the opening theme, the Death Note. So yeah, of course he played that one. But that's the one everyone started with. Granted, before I'm sorry, my words just word diarrheaed. Brain farted.
It's A-okay. And you haven't even had a drink.
No, I sipped along.
Oh no, like a drink.
Oh no, I don't drink.
I know.
Trust me. I as long as people are willing to deal with me and don't think I'm like up my own ass or huffing my own farts or think I like the sound of my own voice, I love talking. I love talking to people. I love connecting by sharing learned things or relating as best as I can. I'm there are so many exciting things on the horizon, and I've even a lot of people don't know. It doesn't matter how many years you've been doing stand up. You're on your own pace. Hell, I'm not even trying to compete with others. I just want to be good enough to make a living.
And you shouldn't be competing with others. It should be, a high tide raises all boats.
Yes, exactly. When another that's why I don't get when. Okay, I understand being shitty to Louis C.K. and whoever for the things recently that they've done, and that's perfectly acceptable. They deserve to be derided. I think that their success still, regardless of the chuddy opinions they have or bad things they've done, it still creates more avenues for stand-up comedy regardless. Trust me, there's tons of terrible people who haven't been caught yet that are still making it big enough so other comedians can go on the road and feature and open or even become a headliner themselves.
There's terrible people in every industry everywhere.
Exactly.
There's how many billions of us? There's terrible people fucking everywhere.
Exactly. It shouldn't be too surprising when I'm scared.
It should be surprising when people aren't terrible.
Yes. I'm scared that I'm a terrible person and I don't realize it.
How would you be a terrible person?
I don't know.
You are so concerned
over every little thing.
Yeah, every little thing. And how everyone else is feeling.
Over my own feelings, even.
You apologize to me for being early.
Yeah.
You apologize for being early. Do you know how many people show up for this show late? Do you know how many people? And you apologize for being early.
You wouldn't be surprised some people get bothered by when you arrive early for an obligation.
Well, fuck those people.
I know, right? It's like when someone gives me something to do, I want to do right by it, just like anything else. So since I don't drive and a gig might be a little bit out of the way, I take a special needs taxi service called Access Paratransit, and it's a shared service, and you have to call the day before, and you don't even get the time you want. You have to like you might say 7:00. They like, oh, we have a 6:50 or we have a 7:20 or 7:05. And even then, they might be early. They might most usually be late. They might be on time, but they have to pick up one or two other people and drop off at least one or two or both of them before they even drop you off. You have to plan for it. So I will outright and more than willing to schedule 3 hours in advance to a thing I have to be to. I'll gladly walk around or eat food. I'm the worst. I don't. Sometimes, a majority of the time, the only way I know how to kill time is eat food. I'm a big mushy belly.
I'd say okay, but I mean, for fuck's sake, when I confirmed with you today, like, hey, we're still on, you kind of responded like, yeah, like, why wouldn't we be?
Yeah. I was gonna message or call you just in case. I try my very best. I will admit I'm an extremely forgetful person. It's never out of malice, and generally I don't do things any malice. You wouldn't believe how many people I'm friends with whose names I currently forget or faces I forget or both.
I'm Matt. How's it going?
Hey, much love, Matt. And it's never like, oh, I did it on purpose or I actually don't like these people and that's why I forgot them. No, I'm so grateful when I recognize people
I believe you. You couldn't remember someone you constantly masturbate to.
Exactly. There's so much, and as long as I'm not being a fucking monster, then let's just all get along. Why can't we all just get along?
Because sometimes other people put their own needs in front of other people.
Yes, I understand. Hey, I do that with my over worrying. I feel even when I understand everything's okay, I have to ask for affirmation because I'm so scared that I don't realize I did something wrong. That's how intense and insane my brain is.
So why do you think that is? Why do you feel that, you have to confirm that?
Well, on one hand, it's OCD. It's on the other hand, it's a part of autism where I fixate I mean that's why OCD also is a little interaction with that as well. I fixate on things. If it doesn't, because I can't like tell people's tone too well. I've gotten better, but like, so if it doesn't sound exactly the way that I think it should sound, I do it respectfully. I'm always scared I do it disrespectfully somehow. Like I have my roommate, and I'll say, I hope I wasn't bothersome, and he says, you're all good. But it's and usually that's fine, but sometimes, or I think he says it in a way that I'm scared, and I'm like, could you just say, if you mean it, that I wasn't the bother, just say I am not. Don't worry, Josh, you're not a bother. I need to hear the fully articulate thought, not just not that's a throwaway, but like throwaway affirmation. It's all good. Like somehow my brain double thinks and distrusts, and I need to know in order to do right. I'm basically, but not too bad a degree. Bad in terms of my own anxiety, but not outside of that. Not more. I'm obsessed. I want to make. I see all the bad ways people interact around me sometimes, or I perceive as like being aggressive or rude to each other. And I so don't want that. I want the same humanity, to give them the same humanity and dignity I would want for myself. It's funny. I am a bit of a voyeur when it comes to that stuff too. Like I'll watch videos of like World Star Hip Hop fight compilations. Like I don't want these things to exist, but at the same time, I want to watch. I want to see people at their worst. Just it's not like a pleasure. It's just I'm super curious. I like. There's so many videos on those fight comps. I'm like, how is the police not held this video as evidence, or does it work that they can have it as evidence and people can use it at large as well?
I feel like it was uploaded before it became evidence.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
And then once it's out there, you know how the internet works. Once it's there forever.
It's like an interesting thing. I don't want to see like a broken leg, but I don't mind seeing a broken leg if there's a pants covering it. Like it's still gnarly, but at least I'm not seeing the bone going through the skin.
At least you're not seeing Anderson Silva leg kick Chris Weidman.
Those ones are I'm curious too, because those ones don't look. You don't see the bone go out of the skin, and you don't really.
You just saw it like fucking rubber.
Yeah, exactly. You took the words out of my mouth. There's something I don't want to see it, but at the same time, if it's there, they're a lot. We're unfortunately in an age where women's nudes will get leaked. And it's not wrong of them to take nude photos of themselves. It's wrong of those to, whether it's a jealous ex-boyfriend or some grody hacker, like that's not fair to them. But at the same time, as long as I know this is a photo of a woman who's like not even 18 and 19, but like 20 and up, like maybe I'm photo searching for something else that has nothing to do with it, but don't have safe search on my Google, and it comes up. I'm like, oh, I might as well look. Like I've done that with female wrestlers. Like I'm lucky that I go on enough forums where they're like, but I hear about the nude photos, but then they say, it's 2 years before when she was still like 17. I'm like, well, good thing I don't actively look for those photos.
So are you telling me there's nude photos of Becky Lynch out there?
No, there is of Charlotte Flair and Caitlyn, and I only know this because I think one I actively searched, since I'm like, she's an older woman, I don't mind. I mean. In the end, I'm in the wrong for doing even that, and I will fully admit it. And I
see. I miss the days of the WWE just pushing their divas right to Playboy.
See, I don't like that unless they actively out loud wanted to do that themselves.
I don't think any of them didn't want to do it.
There's a thing that they do in the WWE where they will give you a push if you get fake boobs for them or anything like that. Listen, and I don't judge those women. It's their prerogative. They're allowed to make this decision for themselves. They're not necessarily being completely pushed on them. But at the same time, you know, it's the WWE's fault. The wrestling industry at large can be very carny and gross.
That's its background.
Yes, that's why I use the word carny. But at the same time, we as a society are progressing. We can get beyond these things. Just because something used to be that way doesn't mean it needs to be that way anymore.
Yeah, we as humans are slow adopters. Have you ever been to a Catholic mass?
Trust me, I understand. We haven't made that much progression. I'm just saying, as long as the women are okay with it, I don't like the idea of someone made like it's the only way. Like, but I don't judge them as long as they're okay with it. Plus, I like fake boobs. I'm not once again gonna actively look at photos, but I'll look at those photos if they come around. As long as it's, God forbid, not Toni Storm, who, their photos were from 2 years before she got into wrestling when she was 17. I'm like, well, it's a good thing I don't actively search for these photos.
Yeah, that's a fucking crime.
Yeah, that's the last thing I want, not just on my computer, but in general. That being said, once again, I realize even looking at these photos that I'm in the wrong. These photos were not meant for anyone but who they want to look at. And I feel awful about that, despite, on the contrary, if they're around looking at said photos. I'm not gonna go looking for them, but once in a while I might just. I don't know. That's the voyeur in me. As long as it's of someone of legal age,
and they were consenting.
Yes. I mean, but that's the problem with these photos that were hacked off these celebrities' phones, whether they're wrestlers or not. I once again, I am in the wrong, and I'm particularly in the wrong because I don't think I'm going to stop, because there's a little bit of, I guess, chauvinistic belief that I'm not hurting anyone. I'm not even masturbating to these photos. Whenever there's a nude photo of like a celebrity that I end up seeing, it's the same thing when I see like a sexy girl around me that's fully clothed. I just go look for. I just masturbate to porn, or masturbate the porn of a lady that looks like her. Like, I don't imagine or go over my. I don't like masturbating just not just still photos, but like it, especially when it's those leaked pics. That doesn't feel particularly comfortable even for me to masturbate to. But it will make me be like, all right, I'm gonna go look at this porn star because she kind of looks like her and she's got even bigger fake boobs, and I'll masturbate to that. I hope I'm not coming off as an atrocious monster.
Nope, not at all.
I recognize I'm wrong. Where I'm wrong. I
don't. Where are you wrong? You're fighting prostate cancer. Come on.
God, wouldn't it be sad if that's how bad I'm masturbating that I missed the prostate cancer? I was like, there's only 2 lumps I truly recognize. I don't know if there's anything else I'm missing. Everything feels like the appropriate lumps in my testicle sacked. Sacked.
I like that. My testicle sacked.
Testicle sacked.
But Joshua, is actually last call, so we're gonna wrap this motherfucker up.
Thank you. I could go on forever.
And we'll definitely have you back. But in the short term, where can the audience find you on social media? Where can they find that podcast that's coming out?
Yes. First and foremost, no information on the podcast yet. It will hopefully be starting this January. When the information becomes available, it will most probably be on my Instagram, which is at Autistic Thunder. I also have a Twitter of the same, at Autistic Thunder. I mainly just retweet pro wrestling stuff. It's basically become my wrestling account, because an Instagram and Facebook are places where I post about family or things coming up that I'm doing. So yeah, if anything, you want my Instagram at Autistic Thunder, and hopefully I will have YouTube videos and a link there too. I'm just getting started, and I'm glad. I hope I came off as a good human being ultimately.
Much better human being than me.
Hey, I ain't.
It's not hard to do. Don't worry.
But that doesn't make me feel safer. Once again, I'm
not here to make you feel safer.
No. I'm not saying you being unsafe to me. I'm saying, like, if at least I'm better than you, but that still might mean I'm low on the totem pole. Oh God.
I know. I'm towards the bottom. And speaking of which, you can find me at Matt_Slayer on Twitter, Matt Slayer on Instagram, Matt Slayer on Facebook. You can find the podcast at And Now We Drink on Twitter. Oh,
And one last thing, if you're in the Los Angeles area, every Tuesday night at the world-famous Comedy Store on Sunset Boulevard, Roast Battle. It is the most offensive, wonderful show on earth, and we have a lot of fun performing for you. And I don't know if we're getting another season, but if we got 3 seasons so far, I want to assume, but in the end, I don't know. I'm not.
There's no way you're not getting another season.
Hey, it was cool that I even got to do more on this last one, but we're directly connected. The reason I bring it up is we're directly the ones connected to that TV show, and honestly, the live show we do at the Comedy Store is much better than the TV show. No censorship at all.
Right? Fuck yeah. So, you guys know the fucking sign off. Until next week, drink up, motherfuckers.
Yeah, drink up. Make merry.